When many people think of conservation, they picture magnificent animals in exotic locales. But for one Jewish academic, the realities of his day job are a bit less glamorous. For 30 years, Professor Sam Wasser and his conservation canines have been tracking animal droppings in the wild.
Because we can get so much information out of feces or scat from wildlife, it provides a tremendous tool to look at a wide variety of conservation questions.
Tucker, a Labrador retriever mix, sniffs out killer whale feces floating in the water.
He's smelling these samples literally a mile away. And they're in currents that are moving very, very quickly, so it's a moving target.
Dr. Wasser finds these dogs in pounds, where most would probably be put down.
We rescue all of our dogs from the pound, and they end up being at the pound because they have such an incredibly intense drive to play with the ball that they drive their owners absolutely crazy.
The dogs are trained to ignore everything but the scent of specific species, and then sent all over the world to help preserve them. For this Jewish academic, the Conservation Canines Project is driven by convictions drawn from his faith.
I think certainly the desire to end any kind of persecution. Absolutely, that is very, very important, and that's what drives me. And, you know, that means persecution against races, persecution against different species, and really kind of to figure out also how to make the world understand the impacts that greed and just reckless use of the environment or persecution of people or animals can have.
The samples are brought to a laboratory at the University of Washington.
We swab the outside of it for a DNA, and so that gives us DNA that tells us the species, the sex, the individual identity of the animal. And then what you do is you extract all the hormones and toxins from those samples, and that's pretty much what we do.
That information informs decisions on conservation strategies in the animal's natural habitats. Professor Wasser says the dogs have extraordinary natural abilities, even when competing with ocean currents, strong winds, and misleading scents.
The dogs are sometimes better than the best technology. When you have that kind of sophistication that resulted not from the brain power of scientists, but from millions of years of evolution, those skills don't go away. And no form of chemical detection is ever going to beat a dog.
With so many animals threatened or endangered, Sam Wasser's workload does not look likely to shrink anytime soon. And he and his conservation canines will continue their mission to learn how to best save these rare creatures. I'm Rebecca Foster for JN1 in Seattle.